you know, there are 13 million surgeries, in fact, more than that, that happen every year around the world, and these are all plastic surgeries of some kind. In some countries, especially Asia, there is an epidemic of such surgeries, especially in some countries like South Korea. Even in the West, the United States leads in having people take a lot of weight loss pills, and that itself causes a lot of problems. So, this epidemic of looking Western or looking slim or looking fair is what we're going to discuss today. So, welcome to Talksonground. This is Amit, your host. So, first off, instead of going across all the issues, let's go country by country. So, I'm going to talk about three countries today. Number one is Korea, number two, India, and number three, America, and in no particular order. Because of the intensity of this industry and it hits you in the face if you're in Korea. Let's start with Korea first. In Korea, every street corner you will see some sort of face contouring or face improvement, whatever those terms are. You will see some sort of an advertisement everywhere. You'll see it on the metro, you'll see it near your house, on every street corner. In fact, there are very few people nowadays who don't have or who haven't done some sort of a surgery, plastic surgery in their lives. If it's the in thing, and if you take time off from your work, especially to get a surgery done, it is considered all right. And this is becoming a major problem. The most popular surgery is called blepharoplasty. Maybe I'm pronouncing this incorrectly, but this is basically the process to change your eyelid, and it's also called the monolid into a double eyelid. The second most popular is rhinoplasty or a nose job, and the third, uh, which is also there, is basically an operation which makes your eyes bigger. So these are basically about 50% of the operations that happen are basically to get a monolid. So, what has led to Koreans be so insecure about their clothes? Maybe the Korean War had a role to play in this. Anyways, the way this is promoted is face contouring. Of course, there's the breast surgery, there is the anti-aging, the eye-plasty, body contouring, square jaw reduction, and so on. And this is causing a lot of cultural and social issues in Korea. And I'm picking on Korea just as an example. This is happening everywhere, especially in Asia and also in the West. Now, in Korea, it is the in thing to look Western. And there is some sort of a premium if you look Western, if you have larger eyes. And basically, researchers and whatever I could understand, they they say that there are about three major factors why they want to go for such kind of jobs or plastic surgery, whatever you want to call them. Now, the first reason is that they believe that it is going to help them get ahead in their job. It's going to help them get a better life partner. In fact, if you don't get some sort of a job done on you, you might not fit in. And remember, there's this whole K-pop culture, and those teenagers or those youngsters who were like the sensations in Korea and elsewhere, they also kind of become the promoters of this trend. The second factor is that the Koreans believe that uh, if they don't look Western, they might be socially ostracized or they might not get the right job. They might not be accepted in their social circles and so on. And obviously, another factor that contributes to all of this is the fact that this industry is not very regulated, despite it being such a big industry in South Korea. So maybe this is, the government's way of kind of telling people to go on and do this. In fact, a lot of them are ghost doctors. They are unqualified, but they go on and do these operations. A lot of times these go wrong. And the reason we are discussing this is because there are two very strange, perhaps correlated, but definitely contradictory trends going on in the world. One of those trends is something that we discussed in our previous video. You can watch it here. This was the gender-related controversy in the Paris Olympics, where Khalid, who won the eventual gold medal in the boxing competition, she was she defeated Karini from Italy controversially, wherein she knocked her out in 46 seconds. And there was this whole controversy whether she's a woman or not and whether she's a transgender and so on and so forth. You can watch those details here. And this got me thinking because you've got these very strange two parallel movements going on. On the one hand, you have gender fluidity, where especially the LGBTQ crowd and a lot of alternate genders that we talk about a lot nowadays. Now, on the one hand, there's this inclusion that people want to have in the mainstream. On the other hand, you have, especially in Asia and America, you have this trend towards becoming or meeting a certain beauty standard. And unfortunately, this is not just about how you look. So in Korea, it's about looking Western. In countries like India, it is about looking fair because you might have the look of a Westerner, or your look could meet a certain standard you think is right for you. But at the same time, when you have this standard which is not your own, you are going to have a problem. You'll have a lot of teenagers who feel depressed or who can't fit in because they don't look the part. We'll discuss India a bit later. Coming back to Korea, in Korea, uh, there is a trend wherein the uh, children are being kind of forced into this kind of surgery early on because they think if they do it early, they can get good jobs and basically this will allow them to kind of fit into the main in crowd and so on. And it's very sad, I think. In my opinion, this is a very, very disturbing trend. Now, there is a person who kind of started all this in the 1950s, and this person, late David Ralph Millard, was the titan in the field of plastic surgery. And he was somebody who really kind of was stationed as part of the US Marine Corps. And he was their chief plastic surgeon in 1954. Now remember, these trends of, looking Western or looking fair are definitely predating that war, but at the same time, this definitely played a role. And he invented a lot of these procedures. And he did that because there were a lot of injuries in the war. And he was the plastic surgeon who would fix the way they looked. Maybe somebody got hurt on the face and their lip got contorted and he would fix it back. So this kind of, because the war went on for a long time, and therefore this became like one of the things that Koreans went on doing even after the war had ended. Anyone watching from Korea can correct me, and I'll want to have a conversation with you. Maybe I'm getting this wrong, or maybe there's more complexity to this whole debate. But this is what I've learned that this all started basically uh, from this Korean War that happened, and thereafter it continued. Now, the second country I want to talk about is India. Now, in India, uh, especially the Indians who are watching this will know this very well that there is this whole craze or this whole focus on being fair. And if you're not fair, you see these ads, fair-skinned girl needed or even boy. And Basically, you see these ads, and I've been seeing it for decades. And this is not a new trend. India was colonized by the Britishers, and therefore this has contributed to this kind of a trend. But this whole focus on looking fair is now not limited to girls anymore. There are ads that Bollywood actors have done for men. There are men fairness dreams and so on. So that's a very culturally demeaning practice because ultimately this kind of takes away your self-worth in terms of how you look and takes away the pride that you have in the way you look naturally. So I'm not saying you shouldn't do makeup or you can't decide how to look, but then the fact that you are kind of forced into a societal or a cultural mode which is developing because of an influence which is outside of your own country is not very healthy. Now, in India, there are a lot of influences from social media, from Bollywood, from parents, from schools and colleges, and these are all contributing factors. But think about the girls and the boys who don't fit that skin color type, or they don't fit the standard that people are expecting. Now, are they not going to get married? Are they not going to get girlfriends and boyfriends? Are they discriminated in their jobs? Now, trust me, even though this is not a much touched upon topic, the fact is that certain looks and certain beauty standards can definitely set you apart and take you further in your career, uh, not just in your personal life in India. And that's my personal experience. And that's not to say that if you're damn, if you're meeting that Western standard, you are going to have a good career. But definitely, if there are two people of the same caliber, the one who meets that beauty standard might, as a percentage, might get ahead faster. I don't have data to prove this, but surely I'm going to do this research and come back. Before we go on to the third and the final country in my list today, which is America, I want to invite your comments. I really want to do a YouTube live on this topic and hear from what you think, and maybe some Koreans can join in, or some Indians can join in, and maybe Americans can join in. And this will be a very interesting discussion because I could be wrong about this, and you can surely educate me on this topic. But this is my view that this is an unhealthy trend. Now, coming to America, even in the US, there is a whole industry which is about facial cosmetic surgery. There's Botox and whatnot, and a lot of it is coming from the Hollywood as well. And there are the procedures in America are more about erasing signs of aging or getting facelifts, neck lifts, eye lifts, and so on. Slightly less invasive options like Botox or injections are preferred. But there is also another factor to this. So in America, it is not about trying to look fair. It is about looking slimmer or younger. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but the fact is that there is this whole controversy around the over-the-counter weight loss pills that people are taking. And there is one particular case where this type 2 diabetes drug called Ozempic was given the green signal by the US FDA for adult usage in 2017. And there has been some uh, controversy about what the effects or the side effects are. And there have been drugs that have been banned earlier. Now remember, there is also uh, these stories about going on a diet. A lot of people in the US do yoga, which is good. But then there are these diets that people do. There is a weight loss market that is ballooning. So the pharma companies are really, really, making a buck on this. And we know that pharma industry is very, very big in the US. And there is a clamor for drugs that have some sort of a weight loss as a side effect. And I've already mentioned the diabetes drugs that I mentioned, Ozempic. Now, what is happening is that a lot of these companies are now coming out with these drugs and kind of also saying, oh, by the way, you can lose weight with it. Now, definitely that's a major concern. And some of them, some insurance plans and some companies are making as much as 25% profit from weight loss drugs. So it's not a tiny matter. It's a major industry now, and the more this industry gets organized, the more difficult it will be to regulate it in a transparent manner because they will get more profits and therefore they can share those profits in a illegal way and make sure the policy makers are kind of giving them a giving them a very light um, what is it called an easy ride in terms of the regulations. So these are the three countries that I have picked up, but the fact is that if I look at India's neighborhood or America's neighborhood or South Korea's neighborhood, this is a trend which is worldwide. So therefore, there is a pandemic of this beauty standard, and as you can see that every standard comes along with the industry. And in this case, this is the plastic surgery. In the US, this is really about the weight loss pills, and in India, this is really about fairness creams and all kinds of salons and a lot of beauty packages people have so that you look fair. So the three trends that we have identified across the three countries are being slim, which is the US, being fair, which is India, and looking Western, which is South Korea. And this is a very sad trend. And as I said, this is a real contradiction to the gender fluidity which is happening around the world. Because gender fluidity is really about including people, while setting beauty standards that others have to adhere to is really excluding people. So I like to know what you think, and please leave your comments. And if you like the video, please like it, subscribe, and share it with other people. Thank you very much, and good night.